Chapter 6. Earl awoke, not groggy or aching, but clear, rested, alive. For the first time in weeks, he didn't feel like a man waiting to die. He felt like a man who'd just been born. Then he heard the sound next door of muffled sobs, quiet wails, the shuffle of bodies in grief. But one voice stood out, steady and sure. "Don't worry," Isa said gently. "Abuela is now with God. Everything will be okay. God told me so." There was a pause, then a few tearful chuckles, bittersweet smiles through the pain. The innocent faith of a child, they thought. But Isa's face lit up like a sunrise. "Look, everyone! God has come to say goodbye." Earl stepped through the doorway, back straight, eyes shining, and his snow-white beard catching the morning light like spun silver. The grief in the room lifted just a little bit as his quiet presence warmed the air like sunlight after a long storm. He looked down at Isa, ready to correct her with a smile. I'm not really," but then he felt it, a hand, warm and light on his shoulder. He turned his head slightly, and though no one else could see her, he felt Rosie beside him, standing tall and proud. So instead he simply said, "Isa's right. Your abuela is in the hands of God." "Just like Rosie," he added silently, with a heart no longer broken, but whole. The family looked at him, their eyes red but full of something new, peace and gratitude. He lifted his hand gently. "No need to thank me. It's me who thanks you. You and your daughter have given me new life." He paused, then added, "I also bring good news. The drought is over. The rains are coming, and the fields will live again." Isa clapped her hands with delight. "That's what Abuela always said. Rain is God's tears to wash away all sorrow and bring new life to earth." And in that room, even in their grief, something bloomed. And as they sadly left the room, they saw the old man enter 6OD. And suddenly understanding dawned upon them. Perhaps their daughter had indeed met God. Earl made his way back into his room, but instead of crawling back into bed, he walked straight into the bathroom. He shaved with a new sense of vision, watching his reflection take shape. It was like wiping fog from a mirror and seeing himself again for the first time in years. He dressed in the clothes he arrived in, buttoned every button, combed his hair, and called the front desk. "Yes, I'd like to be discharged," he said. There was a pause. "Sir, do you mean like discharged as in I'm going home," he said with a smile. When the nurse arrived with the doctor in tow, they stopped in the doorway, blinking in disbelief. "Earl?" the doctor asked. "In the flesh," Earl grinned. Then, just to prove his point, he did a little dance, just a few awkward steps across the room. The nurse burst out laughing, covering her mouth in disbelief. Downstairs, Earl called a cab. The driver didn't say much, just gave him a curious glance in the mirror. Earl was glowing like a man with a secret. As the city rolled past the window, Earl didn't look back at the hospital. He looked ahead, out the windshield, toward the horizon. He had a story to write. He had lives to change. He had rain to welcome.